Hello, maybe Shet, and welcome back to my channel. Tembi Costa-Susini here. Again, I want to reiterate, I did not change my life overnight. I simply reimagined what I believe to be possible. And marriage is not my flex, never has been, never will be. I don't consider it an accomplishment. I consider it a beautiful surprise. Okay, so that being said, today I want to talk about 3 things that I've had to unlearn in my marriage or being married after 50. And the after 50 part is important because, as they say, hindsight is 2020, and there's a lot of things that I can see clearly now that I'm on this side of my development, personal development, but also on this side of marriage versus being single. Number 1, love does not have to be earned. As a matter of fact, I don't even think it can be earned. Respect has to be earned, okay? And I think where I got confused when I was single is that, and I still believe this today, is that respect, I've always placed a higher value on respect versus love. Okay? People will murder each other in the name of love, but respect carries a different reverence. And I believe that when I was single, I failed to delineate when I believed I was working to earn someone's respect versus being put in a position or allowing myself to enter a position or a situation where I felt that I needed to earn their love. Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2, love is clear. Okay, life might get difficult, but love is clear. Love is not draining, or it shouldn't be draining. Love is not draining. If you're loving the right person and starting with yourself, love is not draining. Okay, if love is draining, we have to consider life can be draining, but love is clear. Okay, love actually lifts you up, makes you feel lighter. It shouldn't make you feel despondent. It shouldn't make you feel heavy and exhausted and drained. Okay, and I think that's where we get into feeling as though we have to earn someone's love by putting more out than we give or that we get. Okay, when we're constantly pouring into someone else, but we're not being poured into, I think that's where it gets difficult to delineate. And again, it starts with yourself. So again, love is not heavy. It is not depressing. It is not lonely. It is not confusing. Okay? So anytime, if you don't know it's love, chances are it's not. Okay? So the next thing that I've learned, someone left a comment or a question, asked, how do you and your husband communicate effectively if he does not speak English and you're not yet fluent in French? And the answer is very, very simple, and it goes into what we were talking about. Love is patient, famous saying. It takes patience because there are a lot more commonalities between the English language and the French language than you might realize. And it comes from finding those commonalities and communicating slowly and with intentionality. Sound familiar? For example, if we don't understand one another, we'll simply say, "Je ne comprends pas." I don't understand. Or we'll simply say, "Répétez s'il vous plaît." And repeat, either slowly or with a different phrase. Relatively simple. And again, I believe that men and women speak different languages anyway, okay? So, and what I've learned is patience, that's the mark of love, okay? Because we cannot fake patience. We have to slow down. We have to be intentional with our actions, with our communication, and with our love language. So that is ultimately, and again, that's something that can't be faked. That's what I've learned. or something that I've had to unlearn, that patience at the end of the day is the ultimate or one of the highest currencies of love, because it's time. And time is one of those precious things that we all know we cannot get back. The last thing, or actually this is a bonus because I've covered 3. The last thing about love in my 50s is that my currency is not in my ambition. My currency is in me. Okay? My currency is in my nature. My currency is in my patience. My currency is in the time that I share with my husband. Because ultimately, yeah, I'm ambitious. He loves that. That's not going to change. But he's famous for saying, if you're okay, I'm okay. And I used to think that, ooh, that sounds like a heavy burden. No, it's not a heavy burden. Because it reminds me that I always have to take care of me, okay, in order for us to be okay. So instead of talking about, for me, I've had to change my language. And if you notice, in some of my earlier videos, I always referred, well, even now, I refer to my husband as my husband, my husband, my husband. I rarely refer to him as Eric. And that's simply because I've had to train my brain to think as not just a married woman, but to think in terms of us, not just me. So it was more about rewiring my brain to know that I have a husband, I am a wife, but I'm still me, and that is not going to change. Okay, so at the end of the day, if you are valuing or still hoping or still praying for marriage, remember, marriage is the easy part. It's a question of keeping yourself intact, because at the end of the day, there has to be something to love, okay? There has to be something to love. And remember, marriage is marriage. At the end of the day, you want that person. You want that person. You want that relationship that inspires you to be better. You want that relationship that keeps you accountable. And you want that relationship that makes you feel loved. Okay? And remember, that doesn't necessarily mean marriage. That's all I have for you today. So at the end of the day, take care of yourself, because there has to be something there to love. À tout à l'heure.